Hello everybody, it is Thursday the 29th. Only a couple days left in May. Next is June. Which has got me kind of excited for its own reason, mainly video game stuff. There's a lot of video game announcements usually around June because of being around halfway through the year. So a lot of companies around this time of year start giving out information about those games that will be out at the end of the year in October, November, December. Anyway, most of the day Christina has slept away. She got up for a little bit, but she'd go back to sleep. She's exhausted and trying to catch up on sleep after everything that happens. So, I have seen a lot of pastors, preachers, missionaries, but also, people in general in the Christian community, where there's a lot of information. Not all of it is based on truth. And there's certain things that I always talk about. Like, for instance, there's things that are completely unbiblical. 100% unbiblical stuff. But then there's stuff that is partially biblical. It's usually taken out of context, or you're not seeing the full picture, or whatever. Then you have biblical stuff. But then you have what I call extra biblical stuff. And that's where they put something into it. So, for instance, there's people that have they'll take here's a perfect example. I once heard from somebody that supposedly the term turn the other cheek was actually an insult. And that Jesus saying it was saying, insulting the person. I doubt it, especially because it doesn't fit in with the context. I personally believe that the Bible is not trying to be deceptive. And so whenever I hear something that I don't think is biblical, or I feel is extra biblical, they're adding things to it, I want to take the actual information in its actual place and examine it for that point. If somebody comes up and says, well, the truth is that when you have Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and they get thrown in the fiery furnace, it was actually a reference to them becoming gay and wanting to have a child. That's why there was a fourth person. I'm like, no. You can't make assumptions like that. It's like it doesn't. If that was really the case, wouldn't it would be obvious rather than something's I mean, that's the case. It's not supposed to be a cryptic hidden message. Cryptic hidden messages don't usually happen in real life unless that is the exact intent. So don't take things like that out of context, and don't dig for things that aren't there, or you're going to find something that's not there. I hear people talk about how the Bible has been rewritten over and over and over again, and that we can't trust it because how many times has it been revised? And the truth is, here or at least when it comes to the English language, most of the translations are taken as a combination of other really good translations as well as the original text, because we have a lot of the original text. I mean, Hebrew is still a language that exists. The Bible, the Old Testament, the writings in it are from languages that still exist. And even if Greek is no longer a used language, we have so many records of the New Testament and various versions of the same information. It's not like somebody decides to change the Bible, changes it, and then destroys every copy outside of that one. And at the end of the day, like, most people believe in this sanctity of the Word of God, and that you don't mess with it. Even to the point where if there is some denominations that believe something that is very unbiblical, but they still use the Bible, even though the Bible talks against what they believe. At the end of the day, I feel like it's just an excuse. There's a lot of excuses, though. A lot of assumptions and beliefs, and it all gets all fuzzy and wuzzy and was it better. And we have to try our hardest to get through all that to find truth. Truth itself is not hidden within the Bible. It's there. It's simple. It's easy. The problem is outside the Bible is where you run into a lot of these problems. And there's something really bad. I think the Bible actually talks about something absolutely horrible about a person trying to manipulate the Bible for their own personal gain. I want to also explain to you this. Most churches are not rich. Most pastors are not rich. In fact, even the pastors that have lots of money, usually it's not from being a pastor, it's from the other parts and pieces of it. There are some exceptions to that, but for the most part, pastors don't get paid the big bills. Even the mega churches, you have huge costs for heating and electric for the big, humongous facilities. They aren't making bank. Not really. Anyway, have a nice day. Hopefully this was informative and not annoying or disgusting or disgraceful or any other word that is negative. So we'll leave you with the finger dance. So we'll leave you with the finger dance, the finger dance, the finger dance. So we'll leave you with dance, the finger dance, the finger dance, the finger dance. It's called a finger dance, not fingers dance.